If you joined me in my previous episode, I'm sure you know a fair bit about the largest watch exhibition in Geneva, Switzerland, held earlier this month. Or at least, when I say watches and wonders, you all will know what I'm talking about, isn't it? You heard my experiences at the brand booths and my catch up with brand CEOs. While it was fabulous to be back in its physical format, the exhibition reaffirmed that watchmaking, exemplary craftsmanship, and the virtual world's Web3 can all coexist. It is exciting for the watch world to see what is in store for the future. Welcome back to Luxeinsider's special series Watches and Wonders 2022. Time to restart with me, your host Anita Khatri. In this episode, I break down the current trends in the fine watchmaking and also take you through my hot picks from the newly launched timepieces at the exhibition. I promise you, if you stick with me till the end of the episode, you will surely try looking up at least one of the timepieces online, on my Instagram profile or my YouTube channel. And, a quick side note. Luxeinsider with Anita Khatri's YouTube channel is now live. So the Watches and Wonders series is live there as well for you to take a look at the timepieces. Without keeping you in more suspense, let's begin. As mesmerized I was with Van Cleef and Arpels, the pieces too were breathtaking. In the last episode, I spoke about the three automatons on display. The watches too stole my heart. I cannot express my awe for the poetic watches that were launched at the exhibition. My heart and mind were completely sold to the Van Cleef and Arpels Floral Cerecier's watch. Inspired by the floral clock concept imagined by Carl von Linné in 1751, the present team has taken 5 years to create this exceptional timepiece. You may be wondering, what were they perfecting for 5 years? Unlike a regular timepiece, a watch dial showcases the hour markers for one to read time. In the Van Cleef and Arpels Floral Cerecier's watch, time telling is indeed a spectacle. There are no hour markers. In fact, there are flowers on the dial that open and close. The time is then read by checking the dial and how many flowers are currently open. As every hour passes, the scenery on the dial changes. On the 5th hour, there will be 5 flowers open. On the 12th hour, there will be 12 flowers which will be open. Important note, this timepiece follows the 12-hour format. That means on the 12th hour, one can see 12 flowers whether at noon or at midnight. Super interesting, isn't it? Now for some technical facts about this piece. It has a self-winding mechanical movement equipped with a flower opening module for the hours and lateral minutes display with a 36-hour power reserve. The watch displays a spring-like tableau with ethereal blue butterflies, emblematic of Van Cleef and Arpels, fluttering between the pink and the red corollas in a striking relief effect. It is sold with 2 interchangeable straps and costs 260,000 euros plus taxes, approximately 2.13 crores. Once again, I urge you listeners to visit my social media handles to understand the workings of this piece. I was awestruck with this woman's watch. So all the women entrepreneurs, CEOs, directors, listeners, if you have distinct and exceptional taste, then this is a watch you should get your hands on for sure. It is a masterpiece and one cannot go wrong with this investment. Such indulgence, I call it as 3 I's: intelligent, indulgent, and an investment. I'm sure now you all understand why I'm referring to watchmaking as an art. Next one, Although launched as a men's timepiece, I would position it as a watch for both men and women. I would definitely wear it. It is made for watch connoisseurs for whom luxury is the only way of living. They indulge in luxury and understand the understated value it commands. They wear such timepieces in their everyday lives and while globetrotting. I'm talking about Parmigiani Floor's Tonda PF Ratrapant Dual Time. Ratrapant literally means to catch up in French. This understated, discreet beauty does exactly that with such ease and comfort. It catches up with the time zone that you are traveling to without losing your home time. With 2 time zones, this is an exceptional piece, a must-have in your collection of watches. The CEO of the brand, Mr. Guido Terrini, tells us more about this world premiere.
The world premiere is Tonda PF GMT Rattrapante. It's a world premiere because never before a Rattrapante has been used outside a chronograph. In all the centuries of watchmaking history, nobody thought about using this function outside a chronograph. So we applied it to a 2 time zone GMT in order to have a watch that when you are at home, it is a simple 2-hand watch, very discreet, very elegant. But when you need to travel, and this is even a person that travels a lot like me, I can spend 30% of my time away from home, but the rest of my 70%, I want my watch to tell the time where I live, so I don't want to be disturbed by any other indication. So it's very discreet, and you have a push button at 8 o'clock that moves forward the local time. And you have a rattrapante function in the crown. Rattrapante means to catch up in French. It's been translated into split second, but it's the opposite. To split means to divide, but to reunite is the function of the rattrapante. So we kept the name like this, and you press it in the monopoussoir on the crown, and in a blinking of an eye, your local time is reunited with your home time. So it's a very nice and delicate way of having a GMT.
The timepiece is priced at Swiss francs 26,000, approximately 21 lakhs. This watch defines simplicity in complexity, and you must check it out. I am mindful of sharing only one exceptional piece from each brand. Many brands presented many exceptional pieces, but it is impossible to share every single piece. Mind you, I myself experienced 500 to 600 timepieces alone. You can now imagine how difficult it was to choose my picks from this edition of Watches and Wonders. We spoke of Van Cleef and Arpels and Parmigiani Floor. Moving on to Cartier. I was wondering what I would discover at Cartier, known for presenting masterpieces every year. 2 interesting pieces from Cartier in my lineup. First, the Cartier Libre. The Cartier Libre is a jewelry piece that tells us the time and reaffirming Cartier as one of the biggest global jewelry maisons. So what's exceptional about this jewelry watch? It's a bracelet watch and it is entirely reversible with a flexible elasticated strap. Simply put, at the front face it is a watch and on the back it is a bracelet. It is available in 3 versions. One in black and white with spinels and diamonds. The second in rose gold black spinels, sapphires, emeralds and diamonds. And the third version is with garnets, black spinels, moonstones and diamonds. This year's launch of Cartier Libre is inspired by the rock crystal and diamond bracelet created in the 1930s and worn by actress Gloria Swanson. Now, the second novelty from the brand, the Coussin de Cartier. Coussin means cousin, but it also means cushion in French. The Coussin de Cartier is a square-shaped watch hemmed with a spiral of diamonds, with stones of different diameters that accentuate the sense of movement. This visual sensation has introduced a triangular setting that allows the diamonds to be directly integrated into the case without using the traditional grain setting. All women who love glamour and bling, get ready to see your hearts flutter upon setting sights on this watch. The stunning design of supple white gold mesh took 22 hours to get 3D printed alone. The watch has over 1,000 gems and can be squeezed. You heard me right. You can squeeze the watch. Gently though. There are gold and diamond versions as well as two-tone versions studded with inverted colored stones. Limited to only 20 pieces. I wouldn't be surprised that all 20 pieces may be sold out by now. Moving on to yet another heartthrob of mine. An aesthetic delight but also a complicated watch with a central tourbillon. It is a total marriage of craftsmanship and complication. Only 8 pieces were manufactured. Without further ado, I am talking about the new Knights of the Round Table presented by the flamboyant watch brand Roger Dubuis. For the first time, the valiant knights of King Arthur's legend are ready to take on the invisible force of gravity, joining forces with Roger Dubuis' signature complication, the monotourbillon itself. The very recognizable face of the watch is made of 12 micro sculptures, the knights. Placed around a dial, the table, the knights are handcrafted and represent the 12 characters involved in the quest. Nicola Anita, the CEO of Roger Dubuis, spoke to us about this complicated timepiece.
The one you mentioned before, the Knights of the Round Table, clearly it's probably the most iconic collection we have at Roger Dubuis. It's been a few years that we launched every year a new edition. Every 3 years we change completely the concept and then we animate it for a couple of more years. But this year the incredible thing we did was to match our craftsmanship, and Knights of the Round Table was always about the craftsmanship at Roger Dubuis with these sculpted knights, little figures that we put on every dial with our complications and with our dearest complication at Roger Dubuis. You know, we constantly fight against gravity, and this idea of or this obsession with regulating organs has been a part of our DNA since the very beginning, and so we introduced a single flying tourbillon at the very center of our Knights of the Round Table. This way, the Knights join forces with our complication to fight the gravity and increase the performance of our timepiece. I have to say it was extremely well received. We opened up the sales the day we started the fair at 9 o'clock, 9:03. The 8 pieces were sold out. So that shows the appetite the markets have for this kind of timepiece.
That was very, very quick. All 8 pieces were sold out in 3 minutes? Wow! If you have heard my previous episode, I'm sure you recall the theme of this booth with 250 screens. This timepiece is a testament to hyperhorlogery theme that the brand proudly stands for. Hopefully, you all will understand that it all boils down to the smallest details and how every touch point echoes any luxury brand's DNA. I have another 6 pieces more to go, but I will take only one here and leave the rest 5 for my next episode. Also, I need to share all trends in watchmaking. So the last piece that I would share is from Rolex. Everyone knows a Rolex. Everyone wants to buy a Rolex. There were quite a few new impressive pieces, but the one that I want to share with you all is the new Oyster Perpetual Date Just 31mm, which comes in 3 variants. White Rollsaw version combining oyster steel and white gold, 18 carats yellow gold, and the Everose Rollsaw version that is pink gold with silver dial. Rolex upped their dial game in the last year's Watches and Wonders edition. And this year's Oyster Perpetual Date Just 31mm is presented in striking floral motif dials in all their 3 versions. The design comprises 24 flowers that stand out distinctly from one another thanks to their sun ray, matte or grained finish. Each of the flowers is lit from within by a diamond set into the center. The steel version is Rs 7.68 lakhs. Gold one is priced on request, and the rose gold with silver dial is for Rs 14.80 lakhs, almost 15 lakhs. The challenge is to get hold of your piece. Availability of Rolex is a major challenge, which has resulted in customers willing to pay a premium to get hold of a Rolex watch. Works for brand image though. While the novelties were the talk of the town, there were many trends I observed at the exhibition this year. The biggest trend being brands introducing watches in colors and interchangeable straps. Even those brands that I didn't expect to adopt interchangeable straps introduced this system. In fact, interchangeable straps always existed, mostly amongst the premium brands. It wasn't as prominent in the prestige segment, but serious watchmaking brands like Vacheron Constantin, Montblanc, Van Cleef and Arpels, and Jaeger-LeCoultre have also introduced interchangeable straps. Another thing I observed was that until now, brands had interchangeable straps options mostly for women's watches. This year, brands have introduced different strap options for men's watches as well. It is a reflection that the young men's watch connoisseur wishes to indulge in different looks with his prized collection of watches. Isn't it? Then, straps were not only on colors, they were also in different materials. Materials which ensure the sustainability factors taken into consideration. Take for example, the Panerai submersible 44 E-Steel Verde Smeraldo PAM 0128. The watch comes with two straps, both in the same color as their dial. The first strap is composed of fabric made of recycled PET, while the second strap is made from recycled rubber. Moving on to colors, I wondered about the various pop of colors many brands adopted. I believe it's got to do with the post-pandemic phenomena when the consumer psychologically associates colors with happiness. Globally, we are recovering from a pandemic, and it's natural for us to increase desire for colors in our existing challenging lives. Living up to this need, the watch industry ensured that there were many interesting colors on the dial and straps. From salmon pink to beautiful ice blue, red pink dial from Oris, the Rolex Oyster Perpetual Day Date 40 in platinum with an ice blue dial, salmon pink dial of traditional Perpetual calendar chronograph from Vacheron Constantin to Baume & Mercier's Riviera 10675 with a pink sun satin dial. While we are on colors, green continues to remain strong. Actually, green just got bigger and stronger along with its connection to nature and sustainability. But I'll explore this in my next episode next week. With this, it's a wrap on this week's episode. But as you have heard me say to you, there are more exceptional pieces and trends from Watches and Wonders 2022. Until then, please subscribe to my podcast if you haven't already so that you do not miss any new episodes. See you next week with our next episode on exceptional watch pieces from Watches and Wonders 2022.